Now, we're continuing on with our third episode of looking through the Workadex. Now we've got some old people, good old days. He's found in the coffee shop. For them, everything was better in the past. Always saying, when I was young. But they never think about how their parents thought of them when they were young. And that reminds me of an episode of the well-known channel Vsauce called Juvenoia, and it is how everyone is always convinced that the situation is getting worse, but that even way before the internet was around, there was complaints that families weren't spending time together. They were each sitting around reading their own favorite magazine. And next one we've got is Liberal Artsmon. Finally graduated college with good GPA, even got recommendations, but can't even get a part-time job. I should have majored in something else, something practical. I'm going to be starting going to college this next year, but I do not plan to even have a major or anything. I'm kind of disillusioned with the idea of getting a degree. I just want to learn to speak Spanish and German. Shroomon. And this one, when I saw its name, I thought it was going to be something to do with drugs, and I'm kind of glad it wasn't. Live in a very humid studio with no light. Couldn't afford a better place. One day, felt something growing on their head. It's a mushroom. Finally, I have something to eat. Then we have No Heatmon. Live in a cheap, tiny studio with no heat. Couldn't afford a better place. One day, accidentally came out of the blanket, and oh no, I'm frozen. Should have stayed in the blanket. Should have. Then we've got one with a big price tag above their head. Studiomon. Live in a tiny little studio in a big city. Nothing left after paying $2,000 for rent and utilities. Why is it so darn expensive? And we got the same one. And we have Wedding Poormon. My wedding should be the best wedding in the world. Spent tons of money on their wedding. Nothing left but debt. Oh, and an ex-wife. And that is just the harshest, that they have to put X in there. After all of the money was blown away, they didn't even get their spouse. And that was the first WorkeMon I ever came across that had a gender difference. And then the female one is exactly the same, except it does say husband. So that was the first one that I saw differentiated the genders other than in the images. And here we have Retireemon. After decades of career, finally retired, dreamed of a comfortable retiree life, but just got diagnosed with lung cancer. Need to get a job once again. Or should I start making meth? Okay, so there is a drug reference in this game. And then we've got female retireemon. Then we have resignmon. Got laid off from work. Even though they got laid off, the company recorded it as resigned, so they couldn't get any unemployment benefits. I didn't resign, I got laid off. I'm choosing not to say that. And his looks, for some reason, remind me of Misha from Polly. I get reminded of that film too often. And we're not at 5 minutes yet. Oh, I guess we can have an 8-minute video. And here we've got Strikemon. Got fired for having a labor strike. they were trying really hard to protect other employees' rights, only to find the other employees were too busy to care. And we've got WorkeMon. Came to the U.S. in the hopes of achieving the American dream, working 3 jobs without breaks to support their family back home, worried about their future since Trump got elected. And that's a pretty bold comment there, because they're bashing the president. And in the opening screen, it says that none of the people mentioned in this app are real. I know I mentioned that in a previous video, but that just strikes me as funny. So, current president, not real. And it's gone over 5 minutes now. I guess I'll stop this video there. And we'll be starting up next time with these older people pushing carts. See ya. Chair. Stuhl.